With more technology comes more demand to be better. People are using this technology, by the way.
Okay. So this isn't just about you trying to pattern your masters. This is also about you're trying to address a socio-economic problem with access to higher education.
Yeah, I think that was one of my main approaches as well. Like, we live again in a capitalist society and it is a bit rough.
Yeah.
I feel like at the bare minimum, student finance should offer at least a helping hand in that tuition.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Echats. We want to give a big warm welcome to Beatrice. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I think this is your first time on the show, right?
Yeah, and it's my first podcast as well. So
cool.
yeah, I'm excited.
Right,
yeah.
Let's be nice in the comments, guys. Let's be friendly.
Welcome.
Obviously, welcome David again. You've been here a few times. You don't need to go over you.
Face of the channel.
It's like a co-host at this point.
But cool, let's get straight into it. So word on the street is, Beatrice, you've been doing quite a bit of fundraising. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us why? What are you fundraising for? What's been happening?
So essentially, I got into UCL and I can't afford to go. That is the long and short of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm basically fundraising so that I can actually achieve that goal of mine. It's been a goal for quite a few years. It's been literally since I was about 16. Mm-hmm. I've wanted to get my master's, and money has kept me back for a while now. So I decided that I either just never get my master's degree, or I actually am courageous enough to just ask for that little bit of help.
That's cool. I feel like what I find that really interesting is that obviously there's quite a few different people that would want to do a master's, but I've never actually seen anyone go online and try do a fundraiser to try help fund the expenses for the master's.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm just thinking there must be people out there wondering why you're taking that approach to fund your master's. Mm-hmm. What would you say to them? Like, why should they care? Why should they help you out to fund this?
So this is actually a common thing. It's not just a me thing. I've seen quite a few people start up a GoFundMe in order to raise money for their masters, or it can even be an undergraduate degree. A lot of master's degrees require that you don't work whilst you're studying. And a lot of them go way over what student finance offers. So SFE offer £13,208. And if you're trying to, complete a high in demand degree or a degree within a Russell Group university, what you'll find is that it goes way over that threshold. And again, going back to my last point, a lot of master's degrees require you not to work in that time. So considering the fact that living costs on average in the UK range from about 21k to 25k, and then a master's degree goes over that threshold, not many people can actually afford to do this degree. And only a master's degree, only 4.8% of the UK right now holds a master's degree. So you're probably not seeing it because it's only 4.8% of the general population that actually have a degree. And they're probably from elitist part of society, and I do feel like a master's degree, they are quite the access to a master's degree is quite exclusive if you want to achieve it and do well in it.
Okay, so this isn't just about you trying to pattern your masters. This is also about you're trying to address a socio-economic problem with access to higher education.
Yeah, I think that was one of my main approaches as well. Within most of my videos, I do try to address the social and economic issue within education. And I do feel like education has been marketized to some extent. A lot of universities are using degrees as a way to profit. And I understand we live in a capitalist society, but the amount that tuition fees are in our day and age is insane. Most people have an undergraduate degree, think about that. But why are all these people stopping at postgraduate level? And then also think about this year. So as of 2020, I think it's around 300,000 more people than 20 years ago that decided to do a master's degree. What's the difference between 20 years ago and now? SFE now offer a loan for you to actually do a master's degree. It wasn't a thing before. If you wanted to do a master's degree, you had to fund it yourself. Yeah. So why are so many people doing it now? If student finance was to completely pay for your master's degree, how many people do you think would actually do a master's degree? Because I think it would be way more than 4.8% of the population.
Yeah. Wait, David, you're currently studying right now as well.
Yeah. So I'm studying cybersecurity.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And have you noticed any like financial pressures as well with like trying to pursue higher education at this stage?
On my end, nah, because so for me it's cybersecurity undergrad. So
Oh, okay.
so it's, student finance basically covers that.
I do have a question for that though.
Yeah, go on.
Are you still working as you're studying?
Yeah, so it's a online, it's fully online and it's part time as well. So
Oh, okay.
I can basically commit about 8 to 10 hours a week.
Oh, fair, yeah.
And that's probably at the high end, and then still obviously do my work as well. So
That's
it works
fair.
out pretty well.
Do you know what? I did find that when I was doing my undergraduate degree, and obviously that's full time, I found that in my first and second year, first year was a complete flop. I got like a 2-2. Second year, I think I ended off on a high 2-1. But the difference between first and second year and my final year of uni, where I ended with a first, is that I wasn't working in my final year of uni. And like in my final year of uni, no essay dropped below 80%. And then my dissertation got, I think it was about 94%. And I really do think that comes from the fact that I was able to fully focus on just education. As soon as you're doing full-time education, working alongside it is really hard. Like, think about it. When you're applying to a job, they do tend to ask you, like, when you were studying, did you also, like, have to work? And it's to kind of understand why you may have got a specific grade. Imagine if you could literally just study and not have to think about money or not have to think about working.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like it's so exclusive. And the thing is, these things end up being exclusive, right? Like, we live again in a capitalist society, and it is a bit rough, but like, certain people have like way more access than others.
Yeah.
I feel like at the bare minimum, student finance should offer at least a helping hand in that tuition fee.
Yeah.
So then you can save up for living costs and just focus on that.
Yeah.
But having to account for living costs and a degree, like, that's really rough.
So when you start studying for your masters, or have you started already? Or?
No, I start in September.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you plan on stopping your current job?
Yeah, because so my degree is a computer science full-time conversion degree. So I have one shot at doing well in 1 year. You don't get like 2 years to resit. It's like, it's 1 year. I just want to fully focus on that. And because I know that in my undergraduate degree, I did way better when I was able to like not have to think about working. I know if I don't work, I will do really well. So that's kind of why I just want to fully focus on just my masters at the time.
Yeah. What do you think about some people might be watching and thinking, well, you've already got an undergrad, why do you need to get a master's?
Okay, let's talk about it. I think that's a very valid question. And for me personally, there's a few reasons as to why I would want a master's degree. I'll try and make it a bit more general, but I did my undergraduate degree in politics and sociology. Now, I am not saying that is not a valuable degree, but if we're being honest, considering since the fourth industrial revolution and technology taking over a bit more, and I don't feel like all jobs are going to go because of technology, but because technology is becoming more of a thing, there are certain degrees that employers appreciate a little bit more. And engineering, STEM, economics, all of those degrees are those degrees that will get some sort of valuable aspect and respect. So relating back to my point, I did a politics and sociology degree. Now, research suggests, and I think it's Jack et al., and it was in 2020, research suggests that those who do a degree in a postgraduate level that differs to their undergraduate level tend to do way better in their careers. Like, they tend to experience way more, like, they experience more better salaries, essentially what I'm trying to say, than those that do a degree that is the exact same as their undergraduate degree. And I think that could be attested to the fact that they're kind of diversifying their skill set. Because I'm also doing a degree that is high level and is different to my undergraduate level, I would say in my scenario, doing a master's is a no-brainer. So I'm making this very general. I have very personal reasons as to why I want to do it, i.e. my mum, but whatever, we're not going to get into that right now. But I would say, if I'm being more general, I do think a master's degree shouldn't just be taken. Like, I do think if you're passionate, do it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go as far as to say a master's degree is always going to get you a better job and it's always going to guarantee you more money, because that's just not the case.
Yeah.
It depends on so many different aspects.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors involved, like how, I guess, your work ethic, how committed you are to like becoming a master in a specific field.
Yeah.
Because like I can imagine if someone does a master's in the same subject as their undergrad, I can imagine that they can become, I guess, they can achieve like a high paying job or like a certain level of status within that industry.
It also depends on what they're doing, though.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors.
Have you guys heard about the what's that thing that people say about degrees that are not that valuable? There's actually a term for it. Is it like what's it called?
Like useless degrees.
No, there's actually a word for it. And it's so rude.
Damn.
Oh, but anyway, basically what I'm trying to say here is there's certain degrees that are actually just way more valuable.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And I hate to say it because it's rude and it's not really nice. Like, I did politics and sociology. I'm sure a lot of people look at me and say that's not really all that valuable. But it was valuable to me and I enjoyed it. And I feel like that's the most important thing. You need to enjoy what you do. I've got 5 months to raise £8,000 for my masters. And I know this sounds like a personal problem, but it isn't. It's what happens when years of hard work and sacrifice still come down to structural inequalities. Growing up, my mum would always say, if they can do it, then why can't you? It was her way of teaching me that anything is possible as long as you put in the hard work and the effort. If someone else had found a way to achieve great things, then so could I. Even after losing her during my GCSEs, that mindset stayed with me, and it's the exact voice that I keep hearing now as I try to raise £8,000 for my masters. As I've grown older, I've realised something painful. Sometimes it's not about whether you're capable. Sometimes the barrier is structural, and education is one of the greatest examples of that. I've been accepted to study computer science at UCL. My tuition is £21,500 and student finance only give £12,858, which leaves an £8,000 gap before I even begin. So after years of hard work, building my career in engineering, gaining the experience needed for this degree and earning my place, the painful answer to my mum's question should technically be, because of structural inequalities, Mum, I don't have her here to help me out with my tuition fee. I don't have her here to find a rebuttal to my point. But in spirit, I know exactly what she would say. I want to be living proof of what my mum taught me, that if someone else can do it, then I can too. So over the next 5 months, I'm doing everything that I can to close the gap and document that journey in real time. Because I know I'm not the only person who's ever been told to dream big, only to find that those dreams only cater to certain parts of society. If you believe that education shouldn't just come down to finances, please support me pursue my masters. The link to my GoFundMe is in my bio. If you can't donate, sharing is equally valuable. I really don't want money to be the reason that my mum's words stop being true.
Yeah. No, I think this brings up a good point, and I'm actually going to play devil's advocate a bit more. Push back on that because there's 2 things I want to touch on. One, there's a point we're talking about like some people are arguing that degrees are becoming less valuable. Well, certain degrees. I actually think potentially we're entering a future where the whole traditional education system the whole thing's becoming irrelevant. Like to an extent, like technologies evolving so fast and things like AI and even robotics are changing the employment landscape so much that essentially the education system as we know it is not really going to help people get jobs at a certain point.
I'd actually beg to differ.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, why is that?
I really would. Go ahead.
No, you go first.
Fair enough.
The only reason I'd beg to differ is because with more technology comes more demand to be better. With more technology, people are using this technology, by the way. So you need to know how to use that technology. That's why I feel like STEM degrees are more valuable today than they were valuable back as well. They're more valuable. They're way more valuable now as we become more technologically driven. People need to use the technology.
You know, I was going to say, I don't think like advancements in technology is going to make education as we know it redundant. I think it's just going to change how people pursue education and higher education. Like, for example, prioritizing STEM. I think even with, like, you mentioned robotics and AI, I think that's going to create new, I guess, fields. Or I guess they already exist, but new job opportunities, new markets for people to go. And I think education will always be respected and valued.
I kind of
regardless of how
I think
how powerful AI is.
I think
I think education
Yeah.
is like is a fundamental. It is deeper than like just using AI to like bring up facts and figures.
yeah,
Like, I
no,
think,
obviously. Yeah, I hear that.
like education is like it's. I
No,
think,
hear me out. I feel like I get where you guys are coming from, and I know I'm a bit extreme with my viewpoints when it comes to this, but I feel like what you guys are saying applies to the short term. So in the short term, STEM might become more important because we're still like using the technology, and we need people that are skilled up in the technology to do the jobs required with that technology. But I'm thinking if we like look out further into the future,
what's a rough timeline? Like what timeline are you?
the thing is, I feel like AI is rapid. Like the changes AI is causing is super fast. So this could potentially still be within our lifetime. I think we might be safe by the time like education and the workforce has changed so much. We might be retired or pensioners or something. But I do think there's going to come a point where we can't even predict what's going to make someone employable. And I feel like it's going to look so different from what makes someone employable now. Because at some point, okay, once all the code has been coded by humans, and then we find a way
but
for
that
AI
needs
to be
maintained.
Okay, so it needs to be maintained. I get that. I think basically what I'm saying.
I get what you mean. Like
I just feel like there's going to be a point where all that's left, anything that was technological, anything that required like the operation of technology, is going to be sorted out by the technology itself.
Yeah.
And then at a point, there might just be humans doing human stuff that only humans can do. Do you know what I mean? I feel like
I think it will
not
change the
being trained
scope
for
of
that.
education. I think the scope of what is good education will keep changing. I would say like since the fourth industrial revolution, the educational landscape has changed,
Yeah.
but is in a way that makes people a bit more aggressive. So
Yeah.
I feel like because there's less jobs and jobs are being automated more, you need to be way more skilled now more than you would have needed to be back in the days, because jobs are becoming more niche and they require a certain set of skills. So I think that's what we're moving towards. And I think the real issue with this is that, okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question, yeah? Back in the day, like when you went to school, what school, like not necessarily what school did you go to, but have you noticed that there were like bad schools and like good schools?
Yeah.
Yeah.
your
Could we even
parents-
say like grammar schools and
Yeah,
comprehensive
you said
schools?
selective schools.
Yeah.
selective schools. Yeah, like for
Yeah.
example, like so what you find is that middle class parents start strategically placing their kids in certain places because they don't want their kids to be with the other working class kids. They want their kids to be with the exceptionally academic kids. Do you get what I mean? And there's a reason for that. If we go all the way to like sociology with like Bourdieu and look at like social and cultural capital, we see that you can only really get those things in a good educational like space.
Yeah.
If you go to the best school, you'll be able to get the most out of the most social and cultural capital from that school. If you go to the bad school, even if there is cultural capital that you've accumulated, it won't be worth much when you leave that school and go into society.
No, I hear that. I mean, yeah, for the most part, I agree. Education is powerful. It's still powerful.
Yeah.
I just think it's becoming less powerful.
Do you know what it is? I think what we might see maybe in our lifetimes or maybe not is like education being a bit more of like a optional thing. So
Yes.
like for example, like let's say there's two parents and one parent or one set of parents decide to teach their kids how to read. The other parents just decide to let a robot read to the kid. Like I think it just depends on what people value. So if you value like fundamental things or like certain skill sets, you're gonna want to instill that, and you're gonna want to, I guess, pass that thirst for knowledge to your kids.
Yeah.
So I think it might become more optional, or like kind of like it might be a bit leisure, or like kind of like a hobby even. Because I actually agree with you that probably closer to the horizon of when that happens, yes, humans will still, like, it will be a bit more similar to how it is now. But I think at the extreme, it's going to look very, very different to what it is now. And education might not even really be needed.
Yeah. That's just something I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
If you like this episode, we're going to be doing more things like this. We're going to be talking about like philosophical concepts, trying to apply them to modern day situations. If that's the kind of stuff you want to be seeing, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that stuff. Also, there's going to be a link in the description to a community I'm starting. It's a new online community where you guys can talk about conversations like this. Might even do live video calls as well. If that's something you're interested in, check that out as well.
No,
But moving on from that, like, again, just to push back a bit further.
Go on.
Obviously, I still support. I donated to the fundraiser. I still support your team, but just
He's
to
not giving his support.
just to push back, what do you think about people that don't even agree? Like, and we kind of touched on this already, but I want to look at a different perspective. Some people don't even think like a master's is actually something you need to do to increase your like employment perspective, or what? I don't know the right word for that. Some people think like a master's isn't needed. Some people think a master's is like a thing you do in a panic. Like, have you heard of a panic master's?
Yeah, but that's what you do when you can't get a job.
Okay.
The panic masters concept is, I haven't really looked into it much. Like doing a panic masters, I personally, I don't know, like I can't speak for other people, but I didn't necessarily do one. I had a job straight out of uni.
Yeah.
I can see why it happens though, but how are people affording these panic masters? That's my first question. Because like, I wanted to actually do my master's straight out of university. I couldn't afford to do so. I was so broke. I don't know how people are doing it.
Could be funded by parents.
Yeah, that's probably true. Or maybe they're doing a degree. Because the thing is, SFE does cover certain tuition loans. So they might have actually found a degree that just gets fully covered.
Okay. So let's talk more about you being broke and the fundraiser. So what made you decide to try to solve this problem by fundraising? Like, how did that idea come to your head?
That's a good question. I actually don't remember how it came to my head. How did it come to my mind?
Because it's quite a brave thing to do, to put yourself, to like, be vulnerable on social media and be like, I can't afford this thing. Like, can you guys help me? Like I rate it a lot, but I just feel like most people wouldn't even want to post on social media to do just something they're passionate about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, people are scared to put themselves out there online for things that would potentially be less vulnerable. You know what I mean? So what made you feel like, you know what, I'm going to do this? Like, I'm very determined to get this master's.
I think because I've been eyeing up this degree since I was literally in Belgium. So this specific degree, I've been eyeing it up since I was in Belgium. And I've been putting it off for the longest. I'm just working and like just being able to scrape by with my salary. Like, yeah, just being able to scrape by, not being able to save much. The reason why I actually went ahead and I started the GoFundMe and I started posting on TikTok is because I feel like there's actually a bigger conversation here. It's not just me that's going through this. And I feel like it's quite sad because I've ended up building like a community of people that have like had to like decline a degree that they really wanted to do simply because they couldn't afford it.
Damn.
So it's the kind of like, it's a little bit of a protest. I'm kind of hoping that something can come about from it. I'm hoping that we can start the conversation around like education and inequalities. It was something I was quite passionate in uni about as well. Throughout most of my degree, most of what I would research was around educational inequalities, access to education. So yeah, I think it was just desperation. I wouldn't usually put myself in such a vulnerable position. I feel like I'm probably one of the people that doesn't like to show, like, I don't think anyone likes to show that they're struggling. Everyone kind of wants to make it seem like they have more money than they do.
Social media is the opposite. Like, people only want to show the highlights, like the good parts, like everything that's going well. Most people don't want to show like, oh, I'm struggling with this, I need help.
Yeah, no one likes to do it. And like, it makes you feel a little bit bad. Like when you're scrolling around, you're seeing like everyone's like got this really good job, it's high salary, or someone's just bought a house, or someone's getting married. Like you see all these things and you're like, rah, like, am I doing something wrong?
Comparison's the thief of joy.
Yeah, literally. But it's really hard to not compare yourself. I'm really hoping that I can really just be that face to the people that are afraid to like actually get vulnerable. And yeah, maybe I put myself on a chopping block a little bit, but I'm hoping that I can kind of contribute to the conversation in a positive way. And I'm sure there's many people that are looking at me like thinking that I'm just doing really bad right now. I'm not doing bad, I just can't afford the masters. It's really expensive,
I was gonna
guys.
ask though, like,